You love Dungeons & Dragons. Now, experience the ultimate way to play. D&D Beyond. Take up the mantle of Dungeon Master to add friends to your campaign. Enable content sharing so that the entire party can access your books and content. Then, after you've noted who didn't bring snacks, unleash unspeakable terrors on them using the Encounter Builder and Combat Tracker. Ah, here we go. You never bring chips, huh, Dave? You get the gelatinous cube. Classic. D&D is for everyone. D&D Beyond makes it easy.
It's wild, it's whimsical, it's the Witchlight Carnival, and it is touching down today. The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, the new adventure book for Dungeons & Dragons, is out now. You can go and get it, and I'm not saying you should stop the stream and go do that, but like open a new tab, you know? We are very excited about it, and we want to talk today specifically about that opening to the adventure, that carnival you can see on the cover, and joining me to do so are not only my amazing... somebody fix the grammar of this for me later, is not only my friend Michael Galvis, who can probably help me fix the grammar of that. Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. I am so excited to finally be able to talk about this book. There's so much that I have just been holding on to these past couple of months that it's just gonna come out all at once.
Excellent. Get your spoiler warnings ready, everyone, for us not being able to contain ourselves. We're gonna do our best though. But a very special guest, the perfect person that I was hoping could join us to kick off today's discussion. Please welcome Bonnie Gordon to the stream. How you doing today?
Hello, I am the carnival. Woo!
Bonnie brings the carnival wherever she goes. Yes, absolutely. Not only is she one of my favorite people to roll dice with, but an incredible performer and has had some incredibly cool experiences. Bonnie, would you tell the people a little bit about yourself and maybe why I had to tap you for this one?
Sure. Well, most people know me as obviously a TTRPG streamer, but also a voiceover actor. A voiceover actor on a lot of different video games and animation. Most recently, just announced I'm on the new Star Trek Prodigy cartoon that comes out in October. As a huge Trekkie, I'm very excited about that. But a lot of people also know me from as a singer from my comedy band, the Library Bards. Woohoo! And not only do I sing with the Library Bards, but I sing with a bunch of other bands and I perform and do a lot of variety arts. I work and perform at the Magic Castle here in Hollywood. I've also been on tour with different types of traveling shows that have done carnivals and Ren fairs. So whenever you told me about the subject of today's the topic of today's subject of today's topic. Whenever you told me about today, I went, yes, I want to be on here. This sounds so perfect for me. I want to go to the carnival. Back to my glory days of sleeping with the horses and running amok eating candy corn. Or not candy corn.
Sounds like a good way to have a horse.
Apples.
Did the horses would step on you. That sounds so dangerous.
Well, like I wasn't sleeping like literally in the stall with the horse, but I mean we were very close. I traveled with a horse trick riding show for a few months one summer before I moved to Vegas and Los Angeles, and we went from carnival to carnival, Ren fair to Ren fair, and I mean these were the kind of guys that could like juggle machetes that were on fire on the back of a horse while doing a backflip. And then I was like
dex check, an acrobatics check, and an animal handling, like all simultaneously, right?
All the time. Yeah. And protection from fire. You need that. And then there was me who would just kind of stand there and be just like, and like throw insults at them. Like I was like it was weird. I was like the host, but also like the gesture and then I would do other things. I would sing. I would do some other things. I would come out with the machetes and pretend that I was about to do something and then be like, no. I blew fire once and almost burned the tent down. So they didn't let me do that anymore. I think I drank too much of the fluid and fire went everywhere. So, but again, this makes me so happy because everything from variety arts to magic to carnival, theme park. This is my world. I've worked in theme parks for years. Like all of this is so exciting and I'm ready to jump in the book. Let's go. Jump.
Yes. So this is the Witchlight Carnival. which you will see from the title of the adventure, The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, which is owned by the two mysterious fellows up top there, Mr. Witch and Mr. Light. And every 8 years, this carnival goes to each world, so whatever, in a cycle of all of the different ones, and lands on each plane for its annual times 8, somebody figure out the prefix there, visit, sets down for a few nights, opens up from dusk until just before dawn, and contains all kinds of wonders. So you will know this carnival is coming to town because you'll see a bunch of wagons and animals with butterfly wings, potentially landing in on your town, and potentially a ribbon that expands into a river around space as a gentle treant talks to the local shrubbery to make some space for this carnival to touch down. It is inherently magical. It is a great time. It is full of characters and experiences that will be unforgettable for you and for your players, with some of them stories of their own and with stuff that you can do. So before we get to those activities, first thoughts, Micheal, on the Witchlight Carnival itself as a setting.
This is the type of setting that I just absolutely love to drop in the middle of a game, because it's very memorable, it's unique, and it's bound to have a lot of really interesting characters. So I love it. From the very start, I was like, oh heck yes, a weird Feywildy-ish carnival. Like this is gonna have some like funky stuff to do.
Bonnie,
Keep looking at the pictures, and I just want to live there.
that's kind of the size of it.
I know. I'm just kind of like, ooh, I want to live there. They have a black cat.
This
Sorry,
will come up
I
at
have a black
separate.
cat.
This is more Witchlight art. This is for a time and place to be found as you journey through the Feywild. It's one of our favorite images from the previews, though, so we like to just find excuses to show it. But
I know.
can
I
we
just
see?
got excited.
That's reasonable. You are correct to be that excited. Can we see that map one more time? Because this is something I love. This map is, I mean, just a work of art, obviously. Stacey Doyle and Will Allen, unless I've just crossed their names, are the cartographers and co-writers of this adventure. So the places and the story came together in a lot of ways as they were putting together this adventure. For more info on that, you should definitely check out the stream we just did with Chris Perkins, asking all about the process of how this book got made. But one thing I love is that in this map, if you look at the top left corner there, that is one of the elements of this map that actually serves a game purpose. If you look up at that corner, you can see a little hourglass going around. This is a thing that DMs can use to track time at the carnival. So for the 8 hours that the carnival is open, you can move along that track if you use the poster map that comes with the physical version, or however you are keeping track on your digital version of that image. They designed that into the map, which I just find extremely cool, because the map itself is a game, and the map is for a game, and it's games all the way down. So you will meet with a lot of fantastic characters at the carnival. You will have a lot of options for things to do. Micheal, I don't know if you had a favorite like activity that jumped out at you from that you would want to talk about, or just let people discover as they go through the Witchlight Carnival.
Oh gosh, I think I want to just let people discover, because there is a lot of really fun things that you can do here. Just a lot of little mini games, a lot of really great NPCs that have things for you to do. And I don't want to spoil any of it. I just want you to just read this book. It's so good.
Okay, we are Bonnie.
I was thinking, I'm like looking at the map and being like, okay, I would create an NPC that does this here. I would create a character that would work in this booth, and this is what they would do. And like, I'm already like, I want to go here. This is like a wonderland for me, and I'm down.
And it is very rich with detail. The characters that they've woven in with the activities are particularly great. One thing that I love in the instructions for this, if we have this handy, is the carnival scenes. There is a rollable table. This is sort of a DM peek at how it suggests you run the carnival. But the Witchlight Carnival has a table called carnival scenes, which are things that you might run across as your players are going through the carnival. So I did not warn you about this, but Michael, do you have a D8 handy?
Ooh,
I
I do
always have a
because
D8
that's
handy.
Bonnie!
how I live.
Oh,
Bonnie
all right,
wins.
Bonnie
I
wins.
do.
Roll me a D8,
I have
please.
all the dice. What else do I need? I have them all right here.
Stay
Right.
tuned.
D8. Ready.
Roll me a D8, please.
I rolled an 8. Ooh.
Then as you are strolling with your companions through the carnival, you may encounter a lively jig, which is springing up, led by a troupe of gnomish clowns.
Oh my gosh, it sounds like they found the library parts.
And while you are
Perfect.
at the fair, interacting with these people and running into these various scenes, which help you to flavor the experience for your players, there are a few perils along the way and some conditions of getting around, but there's also just some fun stuff. Among the there are rides, there are treats, there are people to meet and talk to, and shows to see. But there's also, of course, some games. So, Michael and Bonnie, I warned you that this would happen, but I did not give you any of the details. We are about to play a tiny fraction of the Witchlight Carnival because as you are pursuing it, you have both been roped in, either by your party members or somebody else, to a gnome poetry contest.
Michael, you're going down.
This is provided for with this gorgeous illustration in the Witchlight Carnival. It is one of the carnival games that you can play, and your DM will tell you how it works for you at your table. But for today's purposes on stream, you are heading around to the games, and your attention is caught by this particular stall. As somebody says, "Sound the chime! It's time to rhyme! You bring the poem, we'll bring the gnome."
Oh,
So
okay.
that's what Bonnie's like, I got this.
Mm.
And you must now challenge the resident gnome who is running this contest to a poetry contest for potential fabulous prizes. So we are going to need 3 wins against the gnome, please. But you will each be competing. So you have a chance to both win prizes, maybe double prizes. We'll see. Round 1 steps up. And the gnome says, "This is not a regular circus. We'd be pleased if you would serve us." And he takes a little bow. Bonnie.
So just before we start, so basically we just have to stand up and say like a rhyme?
Yeah, that's how I'm running it. You can run it at your table in any way that you want.
Like, okay. Cool. When I came
This is
here,
hard.
wait,
Oh, no,
you
God.
don't interrupt me, Michael.
I just got so nervous.
I asked Michael if he wanted to be warned, and he was like, "Surprise me." And
Okay.
I feel a little guilty.
I swear, this is the ultimate truth. I am so excited to participate in this rhyming booth.
Ooh, the applause. The crowd's
I
responding.
think I have one. Hey, that wasn't a toot. That was my boot giving you the foot. No, that doesn't work.
All right.
Wait, no. I got it backwards.
Michael,
That wasn't a toot.
that was
a
not your
foot giving
turn.
you the
Let me
boot.
keep going so I can give you a burn. I don't know.
Already
Oh.
infinitely
Okay.
better than what I came up with.
I love them both. All right. I'm gonna have, and this is just how I'm administering the contest. Please do it your own way at your table. Michael, please roll me a D20 charisma check, and Bonnie, roll yours. We're gonna go with advantage for that first one.
Oh, thank God. Oh, not that good either roll.
11?
11
A 9.
And a 9. Ooh. For some reason, everybody really liked the circus pun for the gnome the first time
For
out.
some reason, I mean, the delivery was perfect, Amy. I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. So, but you've got a couple more chances here. All right. So the gnome is looking chuffed. He's got his little butterfly wings on. He's feeling good about himself. He says, I have now prepared my rhymes. Prepared to be caught off your times? Oof, he's feeling a little shaky. He's feeling a little shaky about that one. Michael?
Okay. I think I have one.
Okay. Bonnie's character steps forward to the front of the line and dramatically just sort of hops on stage, sensing Michael's hesitance.
I feel my companion's brain is slowing. It's really hard to keep these rhymes flowing. As I gesture to my companion Michael, who hesitated at first.
I like it.
I'm blanking. Oh my god, I'm blanking so hard right now.
We didn't realize that we would be competing, so I'm gonna go twice. Is that cheating?
Absolutely. And I'm gonna rule that Bonnie gets to make the charisma check for both of these. Michael, roll yours as just a helping action.
Okay.
Yeah, you assisted.
I assisted.
Folks, I am
with
not
a
going
7.
rule spreading up. 7, okay. Bonnie?
14.
All right, you undoubtedly have some charisma bonus on there, which means you are going to be over and you have your first victory in the book. Congratulations!
Yes.
So with that, because I otherwise will distract myself and make you do this for an entire hour. That is one example of how
I'm
you can run
down.
it.
Like my brain is working 20 miles a minute.
Fine. You know what? Victory lap. You get a chance at 2 prizes. If this next one works, Bonnie, you're moving on to the grand prize round. The gnome is upset. You won that one. The crowd seems to favor you. This is his home turf. He puffs up his chest a little bit more, adjusts those wings, and says, I can do this all day long. I bet you are not as good as you are at song.
Ooh. So then I go, to rhyme and sing isn't always simple, but I have a secret weapon. 2 little dimples. And then I smile and pull out my lute and go to town. And
I never stood a chance. I never had a chance. The charisma that is coming from this side of the screen.
And then I look him in the eye and go, you didn't, I'll even sing it. You didn't realize I had a secret card. I am actually a halfling bard. And I'm a little lute. And if you wanted it in song, it wasn't wrong. But
I mean, just for the heck of it, I'm going to make you roll this, but it seems a little bit silly. Roll me that with advantage, please.
Oh, nat 20. I'm not rolling again.
Sometimes the dice know. You know, sometimes the dice just know what the correct result is.
My first roll was a 2, so it's kind of like it's bookending me there on that. So.
I'm so happy right now. Of course, if you're running this at your table, you can do straight checks. You don't need to put your players on the spot. If you have a Bonnie at your table, you should. I'm just saying. That's what's right for you and your table. But Michael, you also scored some victory there. So you are going to get to roll once on the prize table, and Bonnie is going to get 2 carnival prizes from the carnival prize table, please. And that one is going to be... give me a D8 roll, if you would.
Okay.
Let's start with Bonnie's first one.
Okay, I got a 6.
Ooh, Bonnie, you get a single application of magic face paint, As an action, you can
Ooh.
apply the face paint to yourself or another creature. The recipient gains the benefits of a disguise self spell that lasts for 1 hour or until you choose to end the effect. The recipient.
Amazing.
You got magic face paint, Michael?
I got a 2.
Michael gets, a wooden wand with 8 charges. As an action, you can expend one of the wand's charges to cast the Prestidigitation cantrip. Can't be recharged, but pretty good
Ooh.
prize, right?
I can clean up all of the ash from getting burned.
Maybe ruffle the gnome's wings on your way out.
Look, Michael. My rhyming charm cannot be measured. I work best under pressure.
Now please roll. Tell me your treasure.
I rolled a 1. Ooh, yes, add the treasure to it.
I'm so glad you rolled a 1 because 1 is going to be a trinket from, once again, the Feywild trinkets table that is included with this book, which is just an enormous number of cool things you could potentially grab. And for that, I'm going to need, Bonnie, 2d10. Give me a d100 roll, please.
Ooh, yes, ma'am. 30.
All right. Your second prize is a pixie plushie that sings when you squeeze it.
What a perfect gift for a bard. Oh.
Once again, the dice know. Yay!
Oh, this was so much fun. Okay, I'm just gonna live in this carnival from now on.
Bonnie's never coming back. Witchlight Carnival.
I'm never coming back. The gnome and I are going on tour. Like,
get the Alan and Burns team up act going. It's going to be amazing. So yeah, that is a taste of what you might do, and why Chris told us that players apparently during playtesting just really wanted to stay at the Witchlight Carnival. Getting them into the rest of the adventure is a little bit tougher, apparently, because it is delightful and full of great, great fun memories for you and your table. But that is not all we are here to talk about today. For those of you just joining us, this has been our wrap-up. Sorry. For those of you just joining us, we are talking about the Witchlight Carnival because the Wild Beyond the Witchlight, the new adventure for Dungeons & Dragons, dropped today, is now available for purchase on dndbeyond.com. And you can grab it for you and your party right now. But it doesn't just include great stuff to DM or to throw into an adventure. It also has some special backgrounds. And the 2 backgrounds that are introduced with this have very intriguing names. They are the
Feylost and the Witchlight Hand,
which I am very excited for. So let's see. First off, if you're making a character from this environment, or if you are DMing a carnival, I did want to ask Bonnie, do you have any tips for folks who would want to run this kind of environment or play a character who works here or is part of it?
I have so many ideas. Okay, so just looking at the map, I was coming up with all these different characters that I would do. One, I would do, because you know how they had a lost property tint, like a lost and found tint? I think it'd be so cool to create a character kind of like the old woman from Labyrinth with all the things on her back. And so the lost property tint is all the property just gets collected on this character. And she's like, oh, let me see. And she's like pulling things out, and she can always find anything that you need. So it's like, not only if you lose something, but if you're like actually like looking to like not buy something, but maybe barter, you go to the lost property because she has everything. And then I was looking at the Hall of Illusions, and I was thinking, how cool would it be to have some kind of like a magician character who thinks he's like, Edward the Extravagant or something. I don't know. That's a horrible name. I'll workshop it. But all of his tricks go wrong, but they always go right. Like, he tries to do one thing and it all goes wrong, but it domino effects to the last illusion where it actually does happen. To where like the whole set and everything is broken and like everything is falling apart around him, but the trick actually worked. And it would be a fun character. Like, I'm thinking to myself, I'd create a character like that where, even if you get like a nat 20 or like a really great roll and like, oh, I'm casting this, like say something as simple as casting like magic missile. I cast magic missile, but it accidentally hits like a reflective service and then bounces over there and knocks over the chandelier, and then the chandelier falls on the monster. You know, something like that, to where yes, my spell works, but it works in an unconventional way. And I think that would be a fun character to play or create. Another idea I thought of is sorry, this I want to live here. So I would love to do something like, if I was a DM and had one of my favorite things as a player is to solve riddles and puzzles. I love the whole fighting aspect too, but really when you get to solve like mysteries, that's really fun. And I feel like this carnival setting could be such a fun mystery, almost like an escape room where you have to solve different things throughout the world. And what a cool thing would be to do like a hall of mirrors, where when you go into like a hall of mirrors and the DM gets to play like different like faucets of the character. Like if the DM knows the characters really well, and one of the characters is seeing a reflection of themselves, but like their innermost fear, their innermost this. So the mirrors reflect parts of the characters, and that's a good way to kind of get backstory for your characters too, to the other players, without having to drop a paragraph of exposition at a tavern. You know what I mean? So these are some of the ideas that I'm coming up with. So, but do whatever you want. This is like a I
love that.
Wild. I might just have to like, I've only DM'd once in my life, and I kind of want to DM now just so I can do this setting. And the setting I did for the last thing I DM'd was Wonderland, and this really gives me some fun Wonderland vibes that I want to play with.
That's amazing. And Bonnie, this book is specifically, I think it's going to be satisfying for longtime DMs, but it also contains sections specifically for new or maybe less confident DMs with like advice on putting stuff together and rolling it out. And I think it's wonderful. So I might have to slide you a copy of the Witchlight Carnival.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep going. I can look at these maps and like just keep going. I'm like, oh, at this part I would play this, something like this, and then this, and then yeah. But I won't do that.
And I will say, you are gonna love some of the NPCs in there. As with all published adventures, you can come up with your own, trade them out, combo them with them, or combo them with the characters you're going to create. Because some of the ones you've just suggested would go perfectly. Let's do a second one first. Micheal, what is the Witchlight Hand background?
Yes.
So the Witchlight Hand is Bonnie. Individuals who are already part of the carnival, who have grown up, have probably some sort of talent. Maybe they have a certain show that they work on, or maybe they're working behind the scenes. So these are individuals who already have a connection with the Witchlight Carnival, and therefore when you're like jumping into this adventure, the DM can like sort of tap this player and be like, you are already aware of this area, and therefore you might know some of the more common locations, and so you can help out the party in this way or this way. I really like these types of backgrounds because as a player, you enter the game already caring about what is going on in the area. Like you already have a stake in things. There's already going to be one or two NPCs that you are close with, and that might have run into trouble, and therefore might be individuals who would come directly to you for help.
Excellent. And I believe we have a peek at some of the things that come with those backgrounds. Oh gosh, the art in this book is so good, y'all. It is very exciting to me. So with your Witchlight Hand background, you're going to get proficiencies like performance and sleight of hand, which make perfect sense for your background. You're going to get various other things. And then you might also have somebody that you know at the carnival, which would be, please use any and all of the ideas that Bonnie just pitched, who would be amazing carnival fixtures for you to know and have a relationship with, which will help you into play, I think, in a really, really fun and satisfying way.
Yeah, and what's cool is the book actually gives you suggestions. They're not included in this article that we're previewing. This was just a sneak peek at the background. But the book actually gives you suggestions for different types of companions that you might have become friends with over the years at the Witchlight Carnival. One of them, which is my favorite, I believe it was an old blink dog. So I just like to imagine this really old dog with like grayed hair, and you're like, go teleport over there. The blink dog just like blinks like 2 steps forward because it's just so tired. It doesn't want to do anything.
Oh,
I
that
love
is
I
a
love that
well-fed dog.
personality.
Any animal that lives with the carnival is well fed. Trust me, there's so much food everywhere just being dropped. Little hot dogs here, little popcorn there. Here a pop, there a pop, everywhere popcorn. It's everywhere.
I love that, the idea that your Blink Dog companion just sort of like visits every part of the fair because they know which kind of food will be dropped where.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where you go. Like you have the Blink Dog be your guide to the best, food, but like where are the funnel cakes? Like you
Yeah.
gotta communicate with the dog. Let them guide you. Let them blink
Yeah,
you
and
away.
another perk of the background is that you get like free food and you have a free place to stay at the carnival. So you could even roleplay it as your blink dog is actually sneaking around to the different booths and stealing food from you for you. Except that maybe later you find out it's actually just picking up food off of the ground and bringing it to you.
Ooh.
Amazing.
That's fine. That's fine. We've all lived that Ren Fair life, right? Turkey leg. 5
Still
second
good.
rule. Just kind of dust it off. Right?
I love that though, because Bonnie, if folks who might not feel confident like role playing a circus or a carnival, like if you've been to a Ren Fair, if you've been to a Comic-Con, you can sort of imagine elements to pull in to sort of work with. Obviously,
Definitely.
the material's really rich here, but you can bring a lot of that experience and be like, oh, I might talk like that person who tries to get you to come see their show. I might talk like the person who's trying to sell you like the cool turkey legs. And it gives you something to build off of.
Right. And I mean, same thing with like theme parks. You can take, theme parks are just basically modern day carnivals when you think about it, with big properties of, franchises added in. Like, oh, let's add a little Marvel here and a little Star Wars. Yeah. But that's what they are. Theme parks are basically just large carnivals. And so if you've ever been to a theme park, it's that same aspect where, you you see like it's all trying to like look over here, like go on this ride, go on this blinky lights, or even like a state fair. It's all very similar. They're all kind of connected. Ren fairs, Comic-Cons also is a good example. Everyone was trying to get you to the booth, trying to get you go to this food truck, go to this table, go to this panel, and it's all just kind of very sensory overload, but in the best way possible.
Let's talk about the other background that you can choose that's introduced in the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. Michael, would you tell us what it means to be Feylost?
Yeah, so the Feylost is the background for characters who, at some point or another, usually in your childhood, you went missing and you ended up somehow in the Feywild. So maybe some Eladrin came upon you when you were being attacked by a wild animal, and they took you through a Fey crossing and just kind of forgot to take you back home. Or maybe as a child you were working on the farm and you stumbled upon a circle of mushrooms, and walking through it, you entered the Feywild. And only maybe for you, it was only a few months before you were able to find your way back to the material plane. But then, because of the way time works between the Feywild and the material plane, it could have been 2 decades for your parents for when you finally return.
And I love the way that this background comes with things that like you've been touched by it in some way that you're going to carry forward, that sort of has other consequences. But I do think, without tipping our hands, that we might have had inside info when we did that stream. Joe and I did one a couple weeks ago. We were talking about inspiring material you could use when you're getting ready for a game like this. And a lot of the books and movies we were talking about play with really similar ideas here. So if you enjoyed Spirited Away, I think you could make a pretty good case for sort of a Fey-lost period in her life, the main character of Spirited Away, or a bunch of these other classic fairy tales about like spending just a little time in some other world before you were back in your regular life, which is intriguing. Bonnie, what would you do with a Fey-lost character?
Oh gosh, it gives me some really Happy Neverland Peter Pan vibes as well with the Lost Boys. Like basically when you go to Neverland, you were a child taken away by Fae, and you become a part of this world, and you become, you understand it. I feel like, oh gosh, if I did something similar to this, I would do it to where I was a child that was probably maybe not by my own stupidity stumbled upon this land, but maybe I love the idea of being saved by like a wild animal, or like if something was happening with a parent and they had to they offered me to the Fae or something, like running through the woods being chased by something, and to save me would pass me through that's kind of like a neat backstory. And it's always that feeling, creating a character where you don't belong to one world and you don't belong to the real world. It's that being kind of in between both worlds and trying to find your place within that. And it's such an interesting choice to make with a character, because you get aspects of the real world, as a child that was born in our reality, and then you get aspects of the Fey world where you get certain blessings or marks as they had it on the paper. And to have to kind of find your way and be accepted in both worlds is where the really cool role play can happen.
I love that. So many great possibilities with this. You get like Into the Woods vibes. You get some Chronicles of Narnia vibes.
Yes.
I guess you could argue those kids got Feylost for a good long while, and then they moved there. But it's your version. You can do it how you like. The Feylost
I do want
also
to,
gave. Yeah.
if I can, I do want to go back to the Fey mark that
Mhm.
you referenced, because I think
Mhm.
this is the coolest part of the background, and it doesn't give you like a mechanical benefit or anything like that. What is really awesome is that as a Feylost, you have been changed in some way by the Feywild, and that's what your Fey mark is. So, what one person said in the comments when I did the preview of the backgrounds was, I can finally play a human with a tail. Because as part of being a
Oh.
Feylost, you get to decide like, okay, well, I'm human, but this part of me is not. So maybe I have a dog's tail, or my eyes are starry like the night. And that's a really
Ooh.
cool way to add a little more customization to your character without like having to pick a different race that maybe you didn't want to that you wanted to pick, or trying to find some way of making that work. Like maybe you take thaumaturgy because you like to change the color of your eyes. Well, you can go Phalos now and just have that.
That's really great.
I love
I
that
want to
so
play.
much. We have some great things coming in from chat as well. Fallon Grimm had both an excellent pun on Blink Dog, but also the important jargon. When I was trying to describe it as like the person that gets you to come to a thing, of course, Fallon Grimm supplied the jargon I was trying to avoid was carnival barker.
Oh.
But it is a great term. It is also one that I like, just to throw this on the inspiration file and to make myself more of a parody of myself. There's a Rodgers and Hammerstein musical called Carousel. One of the characters is a barker for a carousel. If you want some insight on a potentially trustworthy or sinister version of that, you should check that out. Thank you all. I went back and saw your Campestry musical suggestions after the last stream, and would like to declare that the person who thinks the Singing Mushrooms should do Little Shop of Horrors, you won. You won the non-existing contest I was running for best suggestion I should have made. We also have a great question I'd love to throw at you, Bonnie and Michael. Hey Ross Hay asks, if you were playing a spellcaster with a carnival-inspired backstory, what class would you play? And how would you flavor their spells?
Ooh. I'm trying to think.
I
So
would,
oh, go ahead, Michael.
no, you go ahead.
No, you go ahead so I can have time to think. Ah.
I was actually thinking, so this book doesn't take itself too seriously, right? So one of the activities that you could do at the Witchlight Carnival is enter a pie eating contest. And of course, one of the troubles about this pie eating contest is that if you eat too much, you might take custard damage, literal
Oh my
damage from a
gosh.
pie.
Finally, a
I
book
would,
that understands me.
so I would play a sorcerer with the subtle meta magic and with some illusion magic, maybe some minor illusion, um, at higher levels like major illusion. And then I would enter these pie eating contests on purpose, and then I would be casting illusions, showing my pie disappearing, but oh, I just don't have a very big appetite, so I wouldn't actually be eating the pie.
You're gonna cheat. You're
You're
making a
gonna
character
cheat
to
and
cheat at a Fey
He's telling
Feywild
us
adjacent carnival. There's gonna be consequences. Have you not thought this
He's-
through? I can't wait.
he's telling us live on stream too. Like, we know now. When you do this in any capacity, everyone's got their eye on you. Like, is he eating the pies?
Wait,
Well,
wait,
let's
your
just say that
character,
anyone?
we'll
character's
say
gonna
that
end
this
up
character
working at
has.
the carnival for like 60 years to work off the debt of cheating at this contest. I can't wait. I can't wait. What were you gonna say?
I would say this character would obviously have 8 wisdom, and all of their spells would be flavored after some type of food. So maybe you have, oh gosh, what's that spell called? It's like Snowball Swarm. It's where it's a second level spell, I think, and you're literally just like chucking snowballs. I would make those like whipped cream pies. Or if you use chromatic orb, that could be giant candy balls that explode into different flavors depending on the element you choose.
I love that so much.
love this.
Snilox Snowball Swarm, is that it?
Yes.
From Xanathar's? Amazing, amazing. Or like Snilox Snowcone Swarm. That's so hard to say. But I feel like it
Say,
could
say
also
that
work.
5 times fast.
Bonnie, who would your carnival-based spellcaster be?
Oh gosh. I kind of want to go with my, like, Marvin, the mundane. I mean, the marvelous. Like, I want to come up with that magician character that just can't do anything right. I think, and
Yeah.
make him some kind of spellcaster. But maybe he's actually a rogue, and a lot of the tricks he does is not spellcasting at all, because he's so bad at it that he has to do sleight of hand most of the time just to make things work. That would be
I
kind
love
of fun.
that.
I'm
That would
also
be very
thinking
fun.
about like
If you started out your rogue and they were pretending this, and you eventually, like, if they were just a basic starting character, it would be a really fun way to take this character that you don't start out with your subclass picked, but you end up becoming an arcane trickster, and you actually start
Right.
to acquire the power to back up the like fake things you've been doing.
Exactly.
Like,
He
what a
starts to
beautiful
slowly
story.
learn magic and gets better and better, but still has that, hello. Like, he's basically a con artist. I love it. I also thought of a cool thing. There was a character that a friend played at a table for the first time ever he ever played, and then never played again. But the name was so funny, and I'm like, I want to take the name that he came up with and make it a show. And it would be a little gnome on horseback with a bow and arrow doing trick shooting, and he would be the Gnome Ranger, and then be shooting all the little cool targets, and everyone's doing the trick writing and the shooting the little targets everywhere, and I want
You
it.
heard it here, Gnome Ranger with the Witchlight Hand background. I love it. That's such a great idea.
You made me think too, like with your very mundane spellcaster doing the exact opposite, and that is you just make a character that just has the most over the top spellcasting for the most basic spells. Like, you're gonna cast Firebolt, and you're just like, and then flames wraith around me, and the great hells open before me as I point my finger at you, and then it's just like little Firebolt.
It's like a little it's like a little spark, but then they have a stick of dynamite and they're like, haha, and then toss it.
Oh yes,
It's
a
like,
rogue
they brought
that is
props,
not
everyone. They brought props. They know what they're doing.
I
a
love
rogue
it so
that is
much.
not a spellcaster who just has a bunch of different explosives that they chuck around and they pretend those are spells.
Aha! Oh, the only thing they
Exactly.
can do is like a little flame in their hand. It's like the
They
one
have an
trick.
artificer
Aha!
buddy. They have an artificer buddy who's like making cool contraptions for them to keep faking their magic at fancier and fancier levels.
Yep.
I love it. Dark of Nate has also suggested an expert in setting traps for comical bad guys, Gnome Alone.
Ooh, Gnome Alone.
All right, final thoughts. Anything we didn't get to about the Witchlight Carnival and what you're looking forward to for maybe dropping it in your games or going there in a full-on adventure, Micheal?
I gotta say, one of my favorite NPCs, just by the artwork alone, is Thaco the Clown. He's based off of an older version of D&D's how they handled AC, and that was like you were trying to hit like a 0 or something of that sort. And the clown, if you just
yeah, it was a rating that you had.
Thank you. Yes, if you see that artwork, it's just hilarious. I just love how they did the artwork for Thakro.
Bonnie, final thoughts on running or playing in the Witchlight Carnival?
It's gonna happen. So you've heard it here first. Like I just looking at the one map, I had so many different ideas. I want to run it. I want to play in it. Who wants to run it for me is the real question. Because first I want to play in the Wonderland, and then I want to take over.
I love that.
It seems like such a fun setting to do one shots in too. Like for people who are kind of beginning and not really like trying to get their feet wet when it comes to role playing, but they're not quite sure if they like what they're doing. This makes it a more fun, playful environment. You can have the game aspect. You can do battle and all that stuff too, but it really gives it a more like relaxed feeling for beginners, I think. And I'm just so excited. It looks so much fun. I'm so excited I came on today. Thank you.
It has been such a blast to have you. Sorry, I was trying to find the right link here. I have loved having your insights on this subject. This is Thack with the Clown.
Yes. With his little bubble pipe. He's so ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
So much.
I went to college with that guy. I'm telling you. I'm from Louisiana. That is every Mardi Gras clown I have ever seen at Mardi Gras. That is like, they're a dime a dozen where I'm from, y'all.
Mardi Gras is another great source for inspiration. I love to run down like all the real life stuff that you can use to bring your Witchlight Carnival experience to life. And of course, it can be dropped in. It comes to visit every world once every 8 years. So it can come to visit your world or a campaign near you anytime you wanted to. It's still kind of a Fey carnival, so watch out. There might be some rules. There might be some things you need to be aware of. You'll find out. Where can the people
You could do a spooky one for Halloween, like murder mystery in the carnival. Sorry. Okay, I'm done.
That's
and
great.
then it becomes like a Scooby-Doo gang. Ah! Okay, sorry. I'm very excited.
You should be, and I'm so glad. Bonnie, thank you so much for joining us on stream today. Where can the people find you for more of this brilliance?
They can find me all over. If you just search my name, you'll find me. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, all of the social medias at Bonnie Bell G. If you want to find my comedy nerd band with Xander Genre, that's at Library Bards. Just hands. And yeah, just find me. I'm a bard.
And stay tuned to Star Trek.
Some music out there.
Check out Star Trek Prodigies. I'm so excited.
Oh my goodness. Yes, you can find me on Star Trek Prodigy on October 28th, saying a lot of words like acknowledged, unable to comply. Ta-da.
Oh, that was good. Someone should hire you.
Thank you for watching D&D and Beyond. Well, D&D Beyond, but the end made it sound like more. Starring Amy Dallen, your host.
Michael, where can the people find you?
You can find me over on Twitter at Michael Galvis and here on D&D Beyond.
All right, I'm Amy Dallen at EnthusiAmy. I hope that you are going to love the Wild Beyond the Witchlight. If it's right for you and your table, you can get it right now on dndbeyond.com. And we will see you next time here on the stream for D&D Beyond Live. Thanks so much.
It's D&D.